thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name's Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Dubai. This is season 1, episode 3. And if I'm gonna be all the way real with y'all, I was kind of bored by this episode. I think Dubai, like the rose colored glasses for me, are starting to come off, and I'm not as entertained as hyped up or entertained as I was episodes 1 and 2. But then again, I feel like maybe I'm just being aggy right now and that just could just be me. But let's get into we talk about anything that I find salacious before we get into the review, if I feel the need to. So the first one I wanted to talk about, this is pertaining to episode 2, and it was about Caroline Brooks's heritage, because in the episode 2, Lisa said that Caroline Brooks got multiple personalities. One minute she's Afro-Latina, the next minute she's Jamaican. Well, Caroline got on Twitter and she posted this. She said, "Me and my queen, Caroline, I think it's Arete Richards," and then she posted Jamaican and Honduras flags. "I'll never forget," she said, "I'll never forget where I came from. Honoring who and what you are is what I'll always do until my last breath. I miss you, Ma. Hashtag forever, hashtag RHOH Dubai." So that was cute, but I really want to talk about what Lisa and Ayan had to say and how Caroline responded. So Lisa says, "I never said she wasn't Jamaican. I said she claims to be something different every week." And then Chanel responded and she said, "Honestly, Caroline says she's Afro-Latina and a lot of Honduras. The Jamaican thing is new. She says it when it's needed or convenient." Lisa was on point at Lisa Milan. So then Caroline responded and said, "Chanel, stop ass licking. I don't even know you like that, so don't play with me. You know nothing about my family or heritage. I'm Afro-Latina. I'm Caribbean, and that's that. Go be Kenyan, American, Somalian, or Ugandan, and all the other things you claim. I don't have time for you." So that's what she had to say. That's what Chanel had to say. So then Lisa had a lot of tweets to say as episode 3 was released, and this is what she was saying. So Lisa says, "Ayan was actually attacked at the dinner. We all did agree before started shooting the show that we would call Caroline by their last names, or the Carolines by their last names. So she was dead wrong for making something out of nothing. She actually stated it, and the other one lied. Hashtag RHO Dubai." Then she said, she re-quote tweeted herself and she said, "Nice try. The evil stepsister joke would have landed if she was the queen, and that we know she's not. More like Cinderella's broom. Her role is to be a prop." And then she had laughing emojis and she said, hashtag episode 3, hashtag Real Housewives of Dubai. She said, "Just play your role, girl. Hashtag Real Housewives of Dubai." And then Caroline had this to say. Caroline Brooks said, "Episode 3 onward is going to be very telling. Pay attention to the details. Y'all about to see things people say and the claims they make on national television." And then she had popcorn emojis, and then she said, hashtag Dubai. This show is so good. So good. So that's what they had to say before we get into the review. I will say Lisa be talking a lot online, and so does honestly, Lisa, Chanel, and Caroline Brooks be talking a lot of yang online, and I'm hoping at the reunion they can back it up, especially Lisa, because Lisa seems to be a lot of wolfing, but I want to see if she go put action to words when she's confronted when they do the reunion, because everyone starts to act funny when it's the reunion. But let's get into the review. The episode opens up and we see that Lisa is having a fashion show. We find out that she is going to be expanding her clothing line, Mina Rose, to more than just pregnant women. She started Mina Rose for pregnant women, especially for herself, because she said she couldn't find very beautiful stylish clothes for maternity wear. I mean, it's gotten better. Definitely gotten better, but it's always frumpy. And some women want to be sexy when they pregnant. Some women don't just want to be covered up. So, like she said, she wants to expand it because her line was mainly dedicated to pregnant women. Women only get pregnant once a year, or maybe once every 2 or 3 years, unless you just the Duggars and you. Ugh. But so she's like, they want to expand the brand, especially so they can increase their profit. I thought the story about how her Chanel or Ayan became friends was cool, where she said that she thought she booked 2 different people to actually be her models for her line, because she thought Chanel was a different person and she thought Ayan was a different person, which is understandable, because I got confused on the first episode, because I thought maybe that was like Ayan was like her middle name, or Chanel Ayan was like her stage name. You know, it's like how, you know, some people go by stage names, but I didn't think like so. But like when they refer to her on the show, they just call her Ayan. So I guess Chanel Ayan is like her full like model name or something like that. But it was cute seeing all the pictures of her. We also find out that Ayan has an actual modeling agency, which I like. I feel like at least we're not gonna see her like wait till the last minute, kind of like Cynthia did on Real Housewives of Atlanta, where like the Bailey agency just like popped up, and it just seemed like the Bailey agency was just for her to have like a storyline, because after a while we stopped hearing about the Bailey agency. But now but the difference with that would be like Chanel actually is coming to the show with it already created and in hand, and I think it's great. We find out that they're adding plus size models. Chanel calls them super size, but that's because her English isn't the best. She was like, super size is for food, plus size is for like, you know, body types. And then in the confessional, I cackled when she said she told the guy that she wanted, what word did she use? Verbatim. She said she wanted her money at the bank verbatim. And then when she Googled it and Siri talked, and I was like, girl, that's not why you would use verbatim. Like, and when they explained it to her, she still thought she used the word verbatim correctly. And I was just like, verbatim is just to be like, you said the exact same thing as somebody else. But I got a cackle out of it. So they were able to pick the models, and it was great. We then see a scene where we have Caroline Stansberry with her son, who looked like he did not want to be there with them other little kids, but he was like 10. And then we see Nina with her 3 kids, and I think Nina's oldest daughter is like 9. But like 10-year-old boys and 10-year-old girls, like if they don't go to school together, it's kind of weird when they like have to be forced together by their parents, because then you're like forced to kind of talk to each other, and that's always awkward. But they went to Atlantis. I've been to Atlantis in the Bahamas. I actually like stayed in the like actual like building, because if you go to Atlantis in the Bahamas, don't let them trick you. The Atlantis in the Bahamas is by itself, like on an island on its own. There is several other hotels attached to it, so you can walk through it all together like you're walking through like an outlet mall. You can still be on Atlantis, a property, and check in Atlantis and still be on a nice, like, you know, on a nice resort. So, you know, if you gonna go, know the tricks, y'all. Don't get gypped, because we got gypped. It was a nice experience, but we got gypped. But they're in Atlantis. They're actually in a room that I guess they said you have to book 3 months out. I like seeing the culture. I like how Caroline Stansberry was saying how, like, you know, all the time people ask me, like, do I have to be covered up, or do I have to do... And she was like, no, you just have to be respectful of the culture. And she was like, I get to wear whatever I want to wear. I can dress however I want to dress, and I'm fine. I just know how to be respectful. But they're in this room that you have to book 3 months out. It was a lovely room. All that food looked good. It was nice. We then see a scene where Nina and Caroline sit down while the kids are eating. We find out that Nina is obsessed with French fries. She sounded like my sister. And we find out that, like, you know, they have this talk where they were like, they couldn't connect, you know, like they just seemed like Nina said Caroline just seemed like she was standoffish or a bitch. And then Caroline said, I just thought you were boring. But then they had like a mutual friend that like kept prompting them to, like, you know, hang out with each other, because that friend was like, I know once y'all hang out with each other, y'all probably will be like the best of friends. And she was right. They actually really do get along with each other. And then Caroline talks about how she was like, you know, I don't know if it's social anxiety. She was just like, I hate small talk. And I'm just kind of like, I kick it with the people I kick it with, which ain't nothing wrong with that. And so they were talking. We then get to see Yasmin, who is Caroline's oldest daughter. She's like 16 or 15. And she came in. She was like, Caroline was saying how her and Yasmin are complete opposites. Yasmin is more of like, she's more go with the flow, like a tomboy kind of girl. She doesn't really dress up or is into like frilly things like Caroline was in when she was her age. But she talks about how like they still have a wonderful relationships, and she loves her down. We find out that the kids like Sergio, but they still see Sergio as a joke. Like they don't see Sergio as like a father figure, because it does seem like their dad is still in the picture. But it's like Sergio's 27. He's closer in age to Yasmin and her brother, because her brother's 10, Yasmin's like 15, and Sergio's 27. And then you got Caroline, who's like 45. It's kind of like, they just see him as like, the cool, like mom's cool boyfriend, or mom's like boy, like, that's mom's boyfriend. That's not like, and they like Sergio, but they dig and rag on Sergio. We find out that Sergio wants a kid, and Yasmin was like, absolutely not. And I was with Yasmin, like, girl, he should know what it is. Like, if you're going to marry somebody in their 40s and you're in your 20s and you still want to have children, don't expect the woman to want to still be able to have kids at that age, or want to have kids at that age, because it is dangerous. As well as, don't expect no man in their 40s, their late 40s, about to be in their 50s, to want to have kids if they already have kids of their own. Like, she already has kids of her own. She already has done that. I don't think she wants any more kids. But Caroline feels like, I probably should give him kids because, he doesn't have any. But then Yasmin was like, well, he can have kids with somebody else and still be your husband. And they all laughed about it. But it was a cute scene. And then the next scene we see is Caroline, Lisa, and Ayan meet. It's the sit down with Ayan, Caroline, Brooks, and Lisa. And I will say, Ayan and Lisa looked really pretty. That orange color on Lisa's skin looked great. And Ayan with the leopard. And then she walked in with a pot of lemons. At first she said she was going to give the lemons to Brooks to be like, why you so bitter? But then she switched her story, where she said when Brooks got there, and then she was like, oh, we can make lemons and turn them into lemonade and all of that stuff. They talk about the goat. They found out that like when the goat got loose, that there was like a puma or a cougar out, but luckily they found it and it's back at home, and the kids love the little goat. Lisa and all of them sit down because Brooks finally gets there. What I will say is, I'm wondering if I'm wondering if Lisa and Ayan are going to get the Giselle and Robin treatment, because Lisa and Ayan are legitimately like this, like attached to the hip. They seem like they have a solid friendship, and I wonder if people are going to start looking at Lisa like, oh, like you're her sidekick, you're Ayan's sidekick, her ride along, her tag along, because the way in which Lisa was acting at this table, I was just kind of like, okay, Lisa, if Ayan don't really have an issue like that, then like ease up off the gas. So Brooke sits down. They have this conversation. We find out that Ayan was really bothered by the whole important thing because she was going through a lot. We found out that her husband was actually in America, and that was like the first time, I guess, he had been gone for such a long period of time. As well as that, I think Ayan said her sister and her mom were sick. They weren't doing well, and she was just overwhelmed. She ended up finding out that she had like her first panic attack, and she didn't even know what that was. And then for Brooks to call her, like Ayan said, like, girl, I hadn't even had to pee yet, and you bringing me the bull. And Brooks was like, I didn't know that. You never told me that. And you could tell that Brooks also felt kind of slighted by Ayan, because she was like, girl, I felt some type of way because you stopped talking to me for like a while. So after that, I was just like, it is what it is. And she said, when I made the comment, it was a joke. It wasn't to like hurt your feelings. But if I did hurt your feelings, she was like, I'm sorry, because that's not what I meant. I was just joking. And then Lisa asked Caroline Brooks, she was like, so did Caroline Stanberry say that Ayan wasn't important and that's why she didn't invite her to the to the hymn party. And Brooks was like, no, Stanberry did not say that. She didn't say that. I said that. And then Lisa was like, but it's still kind of shicey that she didn't invite Ayan to her hymn party when she's known Ayan the longest out of the group. And I was like, how is that shicey when it's like Ayan doesn't like Stanberry and Stanberry doesn't like Ayan? And if I'm having a bachelorette party, I'm not inviting people I don't like, whether we're on a show or not. Like, it would be different if I was like, hey, I'm having like this like a birthday dinner and it's like an event. So then that means I don't have to like have you in my space. But we're on a boat. A boat is a confined space. And I don't want you on my boat while I'm with my other friends kicking it and having a good time. You don't need to be there. So I didn't understand that. And then for Lisa to be like, because Brooks was like, I think you guys should talk, like really talk to each other. And Ayan was like, I'm kind of like done with her. Like, she don't like me. I don't like she don't like me. So why should I try? And then Lisa was like, well, Ayan shouldn't have to apologize to her. Like, Caroline should come back begging for an apology. And I was like, begging? I'm kind of like, okay, like, y'all don't like each other. No one needs to beg nobody for an apology, because clearly Stanberry not going to give Ayan an apology, and Ayan doesn't want to give Stanberry an apology. So I feel like at this point, it is what it is and what it's going to be. But Lisa, to me, was doing too much, because I'm just kind of like, who are you to tell somebody that they need to beg your friend for an apology? And then for Lisa to be in her feelings about Caroline not showing up to her fashion show, I was just kind of like, you don't like her. You don't like her off of Ayan. So I'm just kind of like, why does it bother you? Because you was acting pressed like a panini for you to like getting the, we'll talk about that then. But they cheers to Wakanda forever. And it seems like Brooks, Lisa, and Ayan are like going to be okay. We then have this, but I did like how Brooks said they're conjoined at the hips. They're Pinky and the brain. Lisa is the brain and Pinky is Ayan. And it's like, if you're ever going to go against them, if you go against one, you're going against both of them. And that gets old as hell in a friend group. And that's why I'm like, is Lisa and Ayan going to get the Robin and Giselle treatment when we're like in season 4 or 5? Because it's cute for right now, but if one constantly is butting in when there's disagreements with others or having so much to say, people are going to start to get annoyed with them. Because I was sitting at the table like, girl, I understand, because I would be the same way. But then it's kind of like, you're still trying to be in a friend group. Like, the energy Lisa was giving, I felt would have been like for somebody that like doesn't hang out with y'all. Like someone who you not gonna see, or like y'all see them occasionally, but you not cool with her like that. So it's whatever. But that's the energy that it gave. So like I said, they cheers to Wakanda forever. And then we see Sarah. We get a little bit more about Sarah. We find out that Sarah got her hand in a lot of things. She has owned a lot, like she basically owns like 15 companies, but she's been bankrupt twice. She used to do fashion. She had a fashion line. She no longer does that. She took all of that money and like, I guess, invested in like cryptocurrency, NFTs, and like tech. And now she's like I said, she has 15 businesses because now she's a part of the tech and all of that stuff. So she's doing a photo shoot. She talks about being conservatively dressed. And she said that has nothing to do with like my country or like my religion. I just like to dress modestly and conservatively. And she looks nice when she dresses that way. She also said how, my Muslim religion is on the inside. Like, I don't need to be like, I guess, shackled by what the world thinks of Muslim like religion and Muslim women. She also talked about how like she gets a lot of different a lot of different like Western magazine covers because she's so striking and because she's a lot different than what people think of a Muslim woman. She has like tattoos everywhere and stuff. And the guy who's doing photography was like, "Oh, you bold," because in their culture, like getting like marking up your body ain't tea. But that's also in the Black community. Like, I know y'all might see a lot of Black people with tattoos, but the elders, like, the elders of the Black community, they hate that mess. They hate it. Like, when I tell you, when I started to get tattoos, my grandma and my granddaddy, my grandparents was like, don't be out here looking like no etch a sketch or a coloring book. Let them tattoos be tasteful. Cause they was like, you gonna get them either way, but don't be marking. And they always say, don't put that stuff on your neck, don't put it on your face, keep it down here, cause you ain't gonna get no job. That's what they always say. But her pictures came out really pretty. Like, Sarah is pretty. Sarah is pretty. So then we see a scene of the Carolines going to a beauty bar, and we find out that Stanberry is an IG influencer, or she gets a lot of things for free. We found out that like plastic surgery in Dubai is very common. Like, if you see one thing wrong with you, you go and fix it. Brooks was shady for saying that the person that has the best plastic surgery is Sarah. And baby, when they showed that picture of Sarah, I think the only thing Sarah got done was her nose. That's the only thing. Based off of this picture, what I see, the only thing I see that Sarah got done, I would say, would be her nose. But like, the lips is real. The like, everything else looks fine. You know what? In this picture that they showed us, Sarah, she just looks like a version of Snooki. And she really doesn't look like a version of Snooki to me. But like I said, they're at the beauty bar. They're getting things done. Caroline's getting her face done. Brooks ends up getting like, like, it looked like cool sculpting, but it wasn't. It was painful. But they have this conversation about the dinner that Caroline Brooks had with Lisa and Ayan. And that's when Stanberry makes the reference, like, they're like the evil stepsisters. They're like my evil stepsisters. And she was just kind of like, if you mess with one, you mess with another one. So it's just like, it's a 2-for-2 deal. And then Stanberry said, girl, why would you tell them that I said that the whole important thing? And Brooks was like, no, I told them that I said it. And she was like, why would you say it? And Caroline's, Stanberry's whole thing is like, why would you say it in general? Like, you already know they got beef with me. Why would you put that in the atmosphere, sis? Like, why? And so they had a cute, funny moment. We then see Stanberry at home with her kids and her soon-to-be husband. And they're all just talking. We find out that the kids really do like Sergio. It took a minute for them to like him. He had to really jump through hoops for them to, like, take him on, because the kids really wanted their mom to get back with their dad, which most kids do. But they really do care about him. We then see Lisa on her way to the fashion show. So let's get into that. It's Lisa's fashion show. Everybody's invited. The only person that doesn't show up is Caroline Stonsberry. And Caroline basically said, like, I don't even think you're going to care that I'm not there, but I'm overwhelmed with wedding planning, and I'm not going to be able to attend. Lisa, when she looks at it, like, because they do a flashback, she was acting like she wasn't bothered. But then when she was talking to Ayan and then she got into her confessional, she came with the essence of prestivity, very pressed. Because Ayan asked, like, who's coming? Like, because they're in the back getting makeup and hair ready for the fashion show. And Lisa's like, your best friend isn't coming. And Ayan was like, Stanberry's not coming. And then Ayan made it about herself, where she was like, I feel like she's not coming because of me, and that really hurts me, because she should be here to support you. And this is what I said on Twitter, and some people disagree. I was like, I don't understand why Lisa's upset. You don't really like Stansberry because you're friends with Ayan, as well as y'all have been flaming each other and ragging on one another since episode 1. Y'all talked about how y'all felt like her relationship with Sergio was a contractual relationship, and y'all didn't really have much nice things to say about it. She said some things about y'all that was not too hot. And now Lisa's in her confessional talking about she thinks that I'm going to be like that, like she doesn't come, that this going to be the end of my event. I was like, no, she really doesn't. She just don't want to be there. As well as she was like, Elisa was like, I don't think we need bot followers, bot likes to be at an event that everybody is attending. And I'm just like, somebody's pressed. And a little perturbed that that girl's not there, because I guess you wanted her bot followers, her bot likes to advertise your business. Because I was like, I wasn't understanding what the issue was. But we see, and we also find out that Lisa's husband, I think his name is Rich, but I'm not totally sure. He basically really didn't believe in her vision of Nina Rose. Like he invested into her company, but it was more so about her. He was like, I'm putting money into you because I believe into you. I don't know about this, but she was happy that like everything's been like her store has been very successful for what it is. So everybody's running around with a chicken with their head cut off. We see Nina, Caroline Brooks, and Sarah sitting on the front row. Sarah's talking about like how she knows sis is like probably it's chaos back there because all y'all see is the vision. Nina was pressed about getting French fries, and I understand her wanting French fries, but the whole make it happen. Make it happen. And when she said it to the first guy, it didn't seem like he understood what she meant. Then by the end of the episode, maybe like an hour and 30 minutes later, they got French fries. But this is my thing, girl. From what Lisa said online, because Lisa also made mention that to say that like there was like shrimp tempura bites for everyone to eat, but Nina really wanted French fries, and I get French fries are fire. My only thing was like Nina's tone was very like demanding, and if I was the server, one, I wouldn't serve you. Two, you would have never got your tater tots or your French fries from me. You wouldn't have got them. And three, you don't play with it. You be real nice to the people that serve you, because you act like people won't spit or spray some wiper fluid on your food. You got to be real careful. So I ain't like that, Nina. You need to check that energy, because to me she was very like, it was rude. Like, I get it. She just kept saying, make it happen, make it happen, make it. Okay, bitch, who are you? The Don Dada? Like, who are you? This isn't a mafia movie. Like, chill out, Nina. Chill out. So the fashion show went off without a hitch. Like, everybody looked great. The women looked great. Some of the pieces I thought were really nice. Some of them I was like, but like, that's not really my style. But like I said, she looked great. Lisa looked great. Her pieces looked great. Ayan looked great. It was a really nice moment. It was a really nice moment. So Nina finally gets her fries. They sit down. We see them all like chopping it up. We found out that Lisa's husband was so happy to tell her, like, everybody was like impressed. So many people want to buy from you. Like, I'm really proud of you. So they sit down, and all the ladies sit down. Like, they're sitting down. Ayan, Brooks, Sarah, Nina, and Lisa, and they're all like saying, congratulations, like, we're really proud of you. So then it was like this awkward moment where they're all like looking around, and I thought somebody said something to segue into this conversation about Stansberry not being there, but like it just got awkward, and then they were all just looking at each other. And when I tell you I rewinded like 3 times, and I was like, nobody said nothing. And they were like, well, Brooks says, I wish Stanberry could have been here. And they were kind of like, well, she didn't come because of Ayan. And I was like, and then Nina chimes in and she was like, I don't think she didn't come because of Ayan. I just feel like she didn't come because of like her wedding stuff. And like I said, when they flash back to the wedding, flashback to like Stanberry supposedly supposed to be stressed out about the wedding. She was at home while Sergio was cooking tacos. Stansberry just didn't want to be there. She didn't want to be there because she don't like Lisa and she don't like Ayan. And also, I didn't make mention of this, but Brooks told Stansberry that Lisa said that Stansberry needed to beg Ayan for forgiveness. And Stansberry, like, I'm with Stansberry. I'm not coming to no event hosted by someone that thinks I need to beg their best friend for forgiveness. That's dead. That's dead. Count me out. I'll go the next go around. But right now, even if you feel like I'm slighting you by not being there, you slighting me by thinking I need to lower myself to beg somebody for an apology. When you already don't like me and I don't like you. So no apologies need to be had. None. And honestly, for this energy, for them to be mad at like Caroline Stansberry, they really need to be dedicating this to Brooks, because Brooks was the one that made you feel some type of way about the whole important conversation. But that's just me. But that's it, y'all. I mean, I didn't think I would be talking this long, but I thought the episode was okay. Like I said, I'm just feeling aggy, and I just wasn't really like invested in this. But I don't know. Like, I don't know if Dubai is gonna be in like my top 5. I mean, I love the opulence. I love the wealth. I love seeing like the landscape and the architecture of a country I've never been to, and I've never really like seen in this way. So I enjoy that aspect of the show. But the ladies, I don't know, they're not doing it for me, or maybe just episode just wasn't doing it for me. But yeah, y'all, that's it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic, and drop down in the comments below. Deuces.